everybody! So I cannot find my little tripod that I usually use for videos anywhere. So forgive the camera angle. It's like propped up on some dishes with a mason jar, but it's gonna work. And I need to make pickles, and I didn't want to miss the opportunity to share with you guys how I make my fermented pickles. They are delicious, they are super easy, and you're gonna want to give it a try. And remember to let me know in the comments when you do try it and let me know how you liked it. So again, forgive the camera angle, but you're gonna have a great view of what's going on here. So pickles require cucumbers, of course, and cucumbers are in full swing for me right now. I've got a bit of size discrepancy here. I've been trying to get them pretty small. And these are a pickling cucumber that I got from Baker Creek. And all I'm gonna do to get these guys ready is cut off the tops and the bottoms because they've still got the blossom ends on. And they've still got little pieces of stem on. So I'm just gonna go through and remove the top and bottom pieces. Okay, we've got all of our cucumbers, tops and bottoms off, but we're gonna leave them whole, other than removing the tops and the bottoms. And we're just gonna start to arrange them in a clean jar, whatever size jar you want. You can do this in a pint jar if you have really tiny little gherkin pickles and you just want to do a pint. You can do a gallon. I'm going to do a half gallon today. And I'm just going to go around arranging larger ones in the bottom, and we'll do the smaller ones more towards the top. And we're just going to stack them in kind of uniformly. We don't want to have a bunch of wasted space or air gaps. We want to pack them in as tight as we can. So being strategic in your packing is key. Trying to find ones that fit together nicely, and alternating putting the tops and the bottoms down can help kind of fill out the space a little bit better. Let's see, almost got the bottom row in here. Let's see, we can fit that one in there really tight. Oh yeah, okay. So now I've got the first level of pickles. I'm actually gonna take a clove of garlic that I have peeled here. I'm gonna just give it a smash. Nice smashed garlic, and I'm gonna stick that right in there on the side, kind of. I'm gonna do a couple peppercorns. Just a couple here. A bay leaf. And the reason we add some bay leaf, or also you could do oak leaf, grape leaf, if you have a grapevine, or horseradish leaves. The reason we add something like that is for the tannins, not really for the flavor, but for the tannins, because all of those things are very high in tannins, and they help to create a crunchier pickle. Some fresh dill here. Also could use dill seeds, dry dill. Does not really matter, just something to give you that dill flavor. So I think I'm gonna do just a little bit of dill here on this first layer, and kind of, again, try to, if I can, tuck some of it down in the sides here. If there's any little spaces between the pickles, or the cucumbers, I guess they're not pickled yet. So try to stuff some of these down the side. It just looks pretty, I think, when it's fermenting, and it distributes the flavor evenly. So I just like to stick a few down the sides. Okay. So I got a few in on the sides there, and then I'll just put the rest of that in there loose. I'm gonna do the second layer of cucumbers now. And again, just trying to arrange them snugly. We wanna really push them in together tightly. So don't be afraid to really shove them together. You want them to be really tight packed. You're not gonna hurt them. I mean, even if you squish one, it's not gonna harm anything. So do not be afraid to squish them in there. If they're tightly packed enough, you won't even need to use a pickle weight while fermenting. But a lot of the time I will use one anyway, just because for me, I kind of feel like better safe than sorry. I've had some sad experiences with not putting pickle weights on and having things float up to the top and get kind of funky. But this is also a pretty short ferment. You're not going to be leaving this out for ages and ages. It's just a few days. So honestly, probably not a problem. Almost there. I'm starting to get horizontal rather than vertical, but again, that is okay. You just kind of shove them in there any which way you can. All right, that actually just about perfectly filled up my half gallon. So now I'm gonna add the rest of my seasonings. I'm gonna smash this other garlic clove. You can do absolutely any seasonings that float your boat, any whole herbs or spices that you think would be really yummy. Like, try it. You're not gonna hurt the ferment by using different herbs and spices. I'm gonna put a little bit more dill here on top and just kind of curl it around the top there. Okay, and a couple more peppercorns, just a few, like maybe 5. We're gonna do 6. 6 more peppercorns right on top there. All right, so those are all of the spices that I like to do, is just garlic and dill and the bay leaf or horseradish leaf. And now we're gonna brine it. So this has just been pre-dissolved. It's 3 tablespoons of coarse Celtic sea salt in water, and you can use any salt you want as long as it's 100% salt. So check your table salt, because a lot of the times table salt will have magnesium or something added to it to help it not clump together, to make it more pourable. So any salt, as long as it is 100% salt dissolved in water. If you're using a fine salt, you're going to want to use less than a quart when you're using a coarse salt. So for me, this was a really coarse, chunky salt, and I used 3 tablespoons in this quart. And I'm just going to pour this over. And if I need more water or more brine, then I can mix them up. But I think this is going to cover it perfect, even with a tiny bit to spare. I'm going to leave about 1 inch of headspace in case I want to put a pickle weight on there, but nothing is floating up. It looks really good. We packed it nice and tight. So then I'll just put my fermentation lock on this. Okay, I got my mason top lid here. I think it's called a pickle pipe, a mason top pickle pipe. They come in like 4 packs. They are awesome. I really recommend these if you are into fermenting. These are really, really nice. You don't have to deal with putting water in an airlock and all of that. They're just really low maintenance and they work really well. So one of these in just a regular canning ring. And then I like the glass pickle weights. I just really like to use them. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one of these in. You just set your weight down. It has a nice little handle, or this type has a little handle, so it's really easy to insert. And I just stick that right in the middle there. And I put my pickle pipe on top, screw it down nice and tight. And since I'm using this pickle pipe, I won't have to burp this jar. It'll just release air on its own, but it won't be letting oxygen in. So now all I have to do is set this on the counter somewhere not in direct sunlight, but it doesn't need to be totally dark or anything fancy. Just set it on the counter, and I'm gonna give it between 3 to 5 days, depending on how warm it is, will determine how fastly it ferments. So after about 3 days, there will be lots of bubble activity. Even tonight, I'm gonna see tons of bubbles in here, and I'll know that it is working away on making that nice lactic acid and bacteria. So you'll really be able to see it start fermenting pretty quickly. And after about 3 days, you can open it up and start tasting them. And you just let it go until it is the flavor and the texture that you like. There are no hard and fast rules. You do what you like. You season it how you like. You ferment it however long you like. And then once you're done and you want them to stop fermenting,
you can switch out your lid for a regular plastic storage lid and stick it in the fridge, and it will last 6 months, a year. You'll eat it way before then, but I would be really confident saying it'll store at least 6 months in your fridge. All right, you guys, enjoy. Thanks for making pickles with me today.